so I've been asked the question concerning the details as of why I decided to take up this name even after my near-death experience. Why did I continue to bear this name before the world? Well, I could say something that would justify my reasons, but they would not be entirely true. I knew from a vivid premonition that this choice and path was for me alone and no other, and that if I faltered, if I disbelieved anything else than what I knew to be true about this, if I doubted myself for even 1 second, then it would become a part of a riptide of events that would lead to the death and destruction of everything that was. And that was all I was given to set me on this path before the world in barren truth to who I was. For 20 years I had gone on without reclaiming that title I once bore in heaven. Now, as I look back on it, I was right. Let us take a look at the events that have unfolded and how things would have turned out had I not made that choice. We have a world full of zealots all waiting for the coming Messiah's return. We have a world on the edge of global ecological disasters, and we have the escalation of global leaders whose citizens are beginning to panic and demanding something be done. In the midst of this rising anarchy, we have two superpowers rising to make a goal towards world domination by seizing the opportunity that such chaos offers. In a world waiting for signs of prophecy that will hopefully lead them towards salvation from the coming destruction, these two great nations have a symbolic representation that would have condemned them to the scrutiny that has been poured upon me for being who I am. Russia and China both have flags representing the symbolic association to the red dragon. Had I not been here and listened to my premonition towards taking this path to prove who I am before the world, then the gossip and condemnation that is used against me would have been directed at them, further adding more fuel to an already blazing fire that could have ushered in a persecution of Christian, Catholic and all secular dominations until religion itself was targeted. Instead, I came and took that possibility away by standing here and proclaiming what truth I knew through the magic of digital social media. Looking back on this factor to what could have been, I hold no regrets. So throw your fairy tale insults at me and pray for your condemnation of my name into damnation. But while you do, think about how many of you would not be here had I not, and where we might be right now.
Welcome viewers to another episode deep undercover in the lifestyles of the rich and famous. I have been inspired by the endeavors of the figure anonymous to take up the cape and cowl, so to speak, to make my voice heard when it should not be silenced and ignored. I have tried leaving information for the NSA and the CIA before, and for the most part my warnings went dismissed, but what drives me to be here now bearing this persona is that the way I was told to communicate any leads or information was the equivalent to dropping a slip in a raffle box and hope your number gets drawn. To know your effort saved lives instead of having to wonder if they took it seriously, or whether the next chain of dramatic events that will carry some staggering death toll is going to be the one you tried to prevent. Now what I wish to share with you is a perspective to what is going on around the world. Currently there is a massive movement going on in Europe. Many smaller nations are watching, like sharks, for the fall of the superpowers of China, Russia, and North Korea, so they can acquisition their resources in the wake of the power.
Come and see, said the witness, the day of the final judgment, when 24 individuals who, like me, can see straight through a person within a split second of passing by on the street and tell whether they're sinners, self-absolved, never living for anyone but themselves, whether they're at fault for that way of living, or did someone push them or deceive them into it, or whether they're saints, living for others before themselves, believing in right over wrong, holding towards what is true to themselves before falling to the opinions of others, and standing as a symbol of strength for those weak and oppressed, so they may find the way to a better life. The final judgment I see in my dream of heaven has 24 beings who examine every aspect of a person's life within minutes. Those who have faith and trust in God and His wisdom are judged by Him. Those who do not question His logic and trust that He is wise above all others are given the opportunity to ask and gain insights to where they went wrong and how they could improve themselves. Those who do not have faith, or do not believe, or choose not to, are judged by the 24 elders who display their ability for all to see, so there is no questioning their authority in this matter. Those judged by God will stand before the golden book as He examines and asks the ultimate questions. Did they, in their hearts, more so than just in their beliefs, ever accept my existence to be true? Did they ever accept my Son's sacrifice for anything close to the original truth, or any righteous version that led them towards His teachings of living in unity with each other, without malice, but with forgiveness in their hearts, humility before wrath, mercy before vengeance? Did they live with, or by, the teachings of any of the prophets in their hearts, those that I sent bearing a similar message across the world and in many cultures, that was my will for man to hopefully prosper, by so they could achieve the lives that I had hoped they would? Then a flash appeared across the skies, and in a blink they were gone from the earth. Then let them be raptured and taken to heaven just as wheat is separated from chaff. Then God asked again, what of they who, at least, were people who lived good lives and achieved close to my hopes for man? Those who never were given or came to believe in any of those things that I called faith in me, yet still lived good lives for the sake of others and not themselves. For them, are their names found in the book of life? Would you think that I am merely a god of religion and not recognize a good man who lived well, and condemn him because he took not a vow or oath to serve me? For I am more than a god of religion, I am the Creator. For them is mercy and salvation given, for they have found mercy, and have pleased me without ever knowing me. The final judgment is more about them and their deeds and what lay within their hearts than it is about me. And do you, 24 judges, see their lives to be truly good? Why should we not open our gates to them? Though they are not believers in our ways, yet still they followed in our footsteps in life. Should we not open our arms and call them brothers? These men, are their names found in the book of life? For if they are, then I welcome you whose lives touched many, and yet never knew me, for you never did so with the desire for reward. And the gates of heaven would open that day even unto the Gentiles, and their praise would be heard high of how He truly is merciful, and not a stick in the ass. And of the sinners, should they be cast into the fire, with Satan to be destroyed. Those who lived for themselves, for one reason or another. Those who were not given options, because of oppressors or the events of the world around them. Instead, I say, we cast them into perdition, and separate them with the mark of the beast, casting them unto the shepherd of lost souls. but saving them from the lake of fire. A second chance offered after life ends for those who were oppressed unjustly, and a hole then opened up with the smell of fire and brimstone, as a swarm of locusts with scorpion stingers went forth to take all those who carried the mark upon them into death and return with their souls to be delivered to the shepherd of lost souls who eagerly awaited his arrogant resident's rival. And the rest is too vivid of a warning, turning a dream into a nightmare. I could not see any further, and I would awaken